Hi everyone, I'm Eva and today we're going to do another build challenge. More specifically, we're going to do a James Turner tiny home build challenge. I'm sure all of you watching know about it, but in case you don't, James Turner is a YouTuber and so is his lovely partner, and he has a website with a bunch of challenges and stuff on. The best thing about it, in my opinion though, is the fact that you can put in what packs you do and don't have, so you can make sure regardless of what you do that the challenge is doable. You don't need to worry about having XYZ pack. So we're going to randomly generate 5 times, and here is our challenge. No more than 60 tiles in the Glimmerbrook style, which is from Realm of Magic, with room for an elder, 2 adults, 1 young adult, 2 children, an infant and a newborn. Okay then. Thanks James, I guess. That's 8 people in 60 tiles. So our budget's a lot better than our last video at least. It's pretty decent at 24,448 simoleons, so we can't really moan at that, you know, that's pretty decent. But we also have to include the chic grunt item and the message item, which is basically a big chair thing and maybe a big ornament statue thing. Who knows how big that's going to be. Today we're building a Newcrest on our plan to slowly fill the world up with complete builds only. As I've said before, I've got ADHD and I go and do a big build and then I always get bored and end up not actually finishing them. So this is what this channel is about. It's kind of here to hold me accountable, make me actually finish my builds, and maybe we'll play with a few of them. We might do a legacy challenge, we might do a few different gameplay challenges. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see where this goes. So this is going to be our second build on our Newcrest world. We're going to be building next door to our first video, which I will link up here, where my friend Mike gave me an impossible build challenge for a tiny home, but I think we made it work. Let me know what you think, and yeah, let me know. I'd really appreciate if you could check that out. So let's get this started. First, we're going to work on a rough floor plan so we can get an idea of what 60 tiles looks like, of course, and then how, again, we can better use the space. I'm thinking if we maximize the corner space, we can have different items in obviously each corner, and then just have a middle area maybe to just walk through somehow. I did think of adding the bump outs in maybe an L shape on each side of the house, like one at the back and to the left and one just on the left at the back, you know, joining them up, but I think we wouldn't be able to maximize much of that corner space, so this is what we ended up with for our floor plan. So I had to have a picture of Glimmerbrook open on my other monitor because I'm not going to lie, I hardly ever play in Glimmerbrook. I couldn't remember off the top of my head what they looked like whatsoever, so I'm just going to try and use Glimmerbrook as much as possible in the filter section, and then I can at least say we did the challenge justice. That's my dog, please ignore Toby. But yeah, I say we can do it justice if we just use Glimmerbrook items and everything else as much as possible. But let me know what you think. Would this fit into Glimmerbrook in your opinion? Does it work? Does it not work? What would you change? How else are we going to fit everything into this tiny house? But of course we're going to be using some tiny living, so thank you very much for this Murphy bed. That will do for not only a little living room space with a little sofa, but also our 2 adults I'm thinking can sleep on this, and then we've also got a little TV space after that. Definitely going to need a few bunk beds, I think, for this. Bunk beds, definitely. That can have, what did we need? An elderly and a young adult as well. So yeah, bunk beds for them, bunk beds for the children. Oh, and we need to have an infant and a newborn. So many people, this is insane. I think we definitely have to think of a backstory for this house. Okay, let's think. Okay, so maybe this house just belonged to the 2 adults, the 2 children, the newborn and the infant. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. So it was originally their house. And then the elder we're gonna make a parent of one of the 2 adults that live here with their children, and then the young adult can maybe be one of their siblings, maybe grandparent and the aunt were living together, and a house fire, tragedy, tsunami, something had to have happened, something dramatic, of course, can't not have drama and chaos. And they've had to come live with family for a while, and so here they are having to change their living around. So this house isn't going to be anything too fancy because of the space, but I did try and bring things together, like using different wood tones, matching each room's wood to each other than a few things. that I decided to have a bit of a proper colour, which will come in later, like the desk from Tiny Living. I thought a nice navy might go nice in that room, add something different. The kitchen, I know I did in a darker shade of wood to break that up and separate that from the living room. I really enjoy those cabinets. I really like the detail. It looks really retro to me. I really wanted to get some things in for the kids, so I added some of those cute hopscotch drawings. I remember doing those on my pathway when I was a kid. And I thought I'd try and make the rooms a bit more colourful and kid-friendly in that kind of way. I'd like to think that because they have a small house, maybe, you know, they've always been the family get-together house, that you go here for a barbecue, even though we don't have a barbecue, but you know, you go here for the barbecue and the summer gatherings and the potluck and all that kind of thing. I try and make sure I have a little budget for indoor decoration. I really do think it's an easy way to get a happy mood look for your Sims, and it's something so simple that you can add. It doesn't have to be an expensive thing either, like a poster, anything in their favourite colour, something simple. Make them happy. Why not make, I should be mean. We all do like to do that, I understand, but why not make your Sim happy a little bit at home? And it adds a little bit of a personal touch for each of your Sims too. You know, you don't have to go into a build with just a overall aesthetic or style for the build. You can go through, add a bit of a quirky personality or any other personality that you want. Oh, I just realised I haven't added anything for clothing, which I think is a need for so many people in the house. We definitely have to have one or two things. It can't just be under the beds, you know. People on top of the bunks need places. Everyone else has their stuff under the bed. That's what it is. That's what I'm saying. Another thing that's going to come handy, yet again, drum roll, debug. Okay, yes, debug, always to the rescue. Most of our outdoor decorating here is going to be from debug. I can't help it. It's a problem, I know, but why not use debug when, you know, we're on a limited income and 24,000 simoleons isn't lots for 8 people, so debug. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Charm family in Glimmerbrook, apparently they've got secret sim lore connections, and it's actually a bit wild. If anyone else knows this, please let me know in the comments, because I was just looking up some random things to do with Glimmerbrook and I thought it was really interesting. So Minerva Charm, the elder spellcaster, she's not just some random magic grandma. If you deep dive into the sim family trees, like lore goblin levels of deep, you'll find that her surname Charm actually pops up in the Sims 2 University. So if you go back, there's a character called Francis J. Worthington III, and his mum's side is the Charm family. Same name. So there's a theory that the Glimmerbrook charms are actually descended from that line, meaning we've got magic bloodlines crossing games. So the next time Minerva's out here just casually hexing a plant or whatever, just remember she might actually be more powerful than she's letting on, so let's just leave her be. I don't think we're going to be able to add anything else because we have under 30 simoleons. So this is our little magical shoebox. Somehow we've managed to squeeze an entire coven into just 60 tiles practically. So we've got 1 elder, 2 adults, 1 young adult, 2 kids, a newborn and an infant. Honestly, I don't know how we did it without someone just sleeping in a cauldron in the garden at that point. I tried to make it look like it belongs in Glimmerbrook with a funky roof, but I'm not totally sure how I feel about it. But I noticed most of the roofs in the world have that kind of whimsical, swoopy vibe, so I thought let's just commit and see how it ends up. But it's giving kind of like crooked cottage core. I love the lighting on the ground with all the glowing orbs and the mushrooms to give it almost that witchy vibey energy, because that's very much my vibe. I love anything witchy, and I feel like if you were to walk by this house at night, you'd think someone inside was definitely bottling up some moonlight or whispering to a cat named Thistle, you know. Let me know what you think. I'm hopefully going to be uploading next on Sunday. Sorry that this wasn't uploaded a bit earlier. I have had a lot going on this week, but yeah, please tell me what you think in the comments, and please subscribe if you enjoyed. Have a good rest of your week. Bye.